last week, the story about the Lions offense was that, you know what? Against the Packers, looked like they missed Ben Johnson. This week, not so much. Lions put up 52 points on their old OC and celebrated by mocking one of his famous play designs. Brian Branch said the Lions were personally motivated. What was the bigger story here? Lions win or the Bears loss?
Listen, Bears loss is a real big problem for first things first Bears and Caleb guy Danny Parkins. But that's not my problem.
I told you, Coach.
This is not my problem anymore. The bigger story is the Lions getting their swagger back, at least temporarily. I don't think the Bears falling to 0-2 ends their season. I think that if you thought the way, I think that people thought the Bears were going to lose when the schedule came out. We thought the Bears were going to lose this game, and you know what I mean. And so I don't think that ends their season. And I actually thought Caleb played fine. I think he played great. I think, like we said, the Caleb this year is going to be a work in progress that you hope peaks at the end of the year. But there was real concern about Detroit, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it felt to me like that concern had gotten even to where Dan Campbell was, I don't want to say on edge, but even more, caffeinated than usual. And so the fact that they hung 50 and are able to say within the building, if there was any concern, hey, whatever effect that playoff game had on Jared, that was a one-game effect. He's now back to being Lions Jared Goff. Guess what? Ben Johnson was great for our offense, but you know what's really great for our offense? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Penei Sewell. You know what I mean? We still have those guys. And so, to me, the Lions were teetering on the, window. Yeah, they're not a real contender. And now they at least got their swagger back, so to speak. So I think it's the Lions.
Can we also all remember that the Bears last year were 5-2? They were 5-2 at the start of the season, and the first two games they lost were close. Yeah. And then the sixth game was the Hail Mary game. That team last year was rolling early.
They were 5-2, Coach, or 4-2?
I know they were
4-2.
4-2, and they would have been without the Hail Mary.
Yeah, it would have been 5. I'm sorry. So 4-2, they would have been 5-2, and the two games they lost were really close games. Yeah. So they were rolling in the early part of the season. So that's a concern for me. The whole revenge angle, that's just something that they talked up in the building just to hype the guys up. I mean, the idea that you're going to get revenge because your offensive coordinator took a job to become a head coach at the opportunity that was the best for him to be successful, that's just the business.
Didn't you feel like Belichick kept on running the ball against you to stick it to you a little bit?
Yeah, he had hurt feelings about it, but again, what am I going to do? Not take a head coaching job in the division? But, that's the nature of pro football. Opportunities are created. Guys take opportunities. This was a great opportunity for Ben, but it is something that you'll use in the building to motivate your guys. Everybody's saying we can't do it without Ben. We can do, that's more of an angle than a real revenge factor, I think.
Yeah, I think it's big. Both stories are big. The fact, because I think all of us had the Bears in the playoffs, and they still got a shot, but I do think they're in some trouble. They're not looking like
you think they're just dead wilds?
Yeah.
I think they're close to dead. Right now, I'm not thinking they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm with Nick. I think the Detroit story is bigger. And you didn't mention this. Jared, we were bringing up Jared Goff 3-17-1 without Sean McVay or Ben Johnson calling the plays. So for him to go out and throw 5 touchdowns and I think 300-something yards is huge for him. That's big.
No huddle time. Put your sunglasses on. Good reminder. Max back, pillow alert. Almost 280 yards. Yes, I wrote pillow alert.
But did you put your sunglasses on as a note to yourself and you read it out loud by accident?
No, I was telling people out.
That's like a stage direction.
A lot of times the audience is like, I feel like I'm at the desk.
Oh, okay.
So if you're sitting with your sunglasses and your first, hey, Gianna, good idea. First things first, care package. All the stuff.
Oh, nice.
Okay, just an idea.
Let's get to the topic.
San Francisco's undefeated. Let's look at that passer rating. We've been talking a lot about passer rating. I can't see it with my sunglasses.
Yeah.
113. Pretty good. What did the 49ers prove? And also, I just heard from Dusty, you can't say that because Brock's not good and it proves that Mac Jones isn't good and they won. You can't say that. So say
Okay,
something.
I wasn't gonna say
Anything other than that.
What I was going to say is that oftentimes in sports debates, Coach, we are debating something that we can never actually prove.
Yeah.
We're never going to get the perfect scenario to test out our thesis.
Control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why science is better. Like you can,
Science
you
is
can
better
set up
than
a
sports.
yeah. Well, it's better to prove things, right? Serendipitously, with the San Francisco 49ers, we have
one.
gotten it. We got to see in real time what would happen if you dropped in a quarterback that Brew and I both agree and have hours of tape of us both saying is not good.
Pro Bowler.
And Brew, literally,
He was a Pro
because
Bowler.
hold on,
10
wait,
games.
no,
Right, he won
no,
10 games.
no, you guys,
He beat out Cam Newton.
we can do this all with smiles, but he's going to play for another month, and I very strategically and purposefully asked you, Brew, before this year started. We both agree Mac Jones is not good, right? And you were in lockstep with me. We
got the video?
No, I don't have the video right now. And what we saw was, even though he didn't even have, as we would say it, many of the Avengers at all. He had Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey, and it was enough for Mac Jones to look really good. It's almost as if, Coach, there's a lot of quarterbacks that as long as they have a starting caliber at any point in them, if you drop them into Kyle Shanahan's system and they have just enough help, they can look really good. And so, to go back to a real argument we had, it's another reason why I would have maybe waited to pay Brock Purdy, because I think you could maybe get this level of production from a guy like Mac Jones.
This is one game. Brock Purdy has done it for 3 seasons.
Well, last
Brock
season
Purdy
he
has
didn't do
gotten
anything
a
like
team,
this.
but he did it the year before. He got him to the Super Bowl. Is Mac Jones going to be top 5 in MVP voting?
No, but is Brock
You
Purdy
think
ever
he
going to be
could?
again? No,
Well,
I don't think he ever
but he
could be
has
again.
done it.
Yeah.
Is Mac Jones going to lead them to the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't think Brock Purdy led him to the Super Bowl. He was the
He
quarterback.
was in the Super Bowl, left the field with the lead.
Yeah.
You think Mac Jones could do that?
Well, I didn't think Brock Purdy could do that. So maybe.
And I'll
he
give
could
you a
too.
list of names who
No,
couldn't
they
do it.
weren't starters,
C.J. Beathard.
No, we're not at the
Brian Hoyer.
You got to move on.
No.
Nick
But-
Mullins,
see, those guys
Trey
weren't
Lance.
starters.
Trey
Those guys weren't
Lance, who you
starters.
thought was all that.
Those guys weren't starters, bro.
I mean, my goodness.
I thought it was a really nice game for Mac Jones.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that he had that, and it was nice to hear his comments on it, how he got his confidence back. But to put in perspective, I imagine New Orleans is going to be in the running for the #1
Yes,
overall
they
draft pick. And when you watch this game, at the end of the game, New Orleans had the ball with a chance to win. So it's not like they just went out and lit it up. And having Christian McCaffrey is a little bit like a cheat code, because you just hit the check down, and then he goes and does really good
You
things.
can't say thank you to that.
gotta
That's
have
the whole
somebody.
point.
So
Who's Mahomes doesn't have anybody, and you see how he's looking out here. I mean, come on, you need help.
But the whole idea of the years of arguments have been that Shanahan's system plus a modicum of talent, much less an embarrassment
that's
of
not
riches.
the case.
It's just CMC.
Right, and look
Not
what he did. So imagine if he had the whole
But
crew.
no, Nick,
Exactly.
your argument has been Purdy's had all this help. Everybody needs help. Mahomes has had tons of
that's
help.
fine.
And I'm not saying he's as good as Mahomes. I'm
Maybe
just
Mac
saying.
Jones has matured, just like we saw with Sam Darnold, just like we saw with Geno Smith. These guys
Right.
can get better as they stay in the league longer.
Mac Jones played well in Jacksonville last year. He and Brian Thomas clicked.
He didn't.
Not him
Didn't
and
really
Trevor.
play that great, to be honest.
He was
with you.
almost as good
San
as
Francisco hosts the Cardinals next week.
I just
2-0 start.
If Mac Jones comes in and cooks and plays really well, and that doesn't move the argument at all that maybe the system quarterback label is fair, then nothing will.
Drew Bledsoe
But
was
you
a great
said
quarterback.
what you wanted to see from Purdy was comebacks, adversity.
Oh, here we
he
go.
did that, And I had to
Don't
bring out
do
the
it.
goalpost.
We got to go to the Steelers. Steelers give up 30
You're
points.
always just looking for some way to
But we're
pull
counting
the
on.
dude down.
We're counting as part of those 30 points that the defense gave up one of the sillier touchdowns of the week when the Seahawks scored on their own kickoff. Rodgers did get picked off twice, and says, "You know what? This loss actually might have been good." You buying this was a good loss?
No. I also don't listen, if people didn't watch this game, Rodgers was not as good as those numbers, and those numbers weren't good.
The numbers weren't good.
I think it was either a 46 or a 64-yarder to, I think, Jalen Warren that, provides the lion's share of that. It was a lot of nothing, and he once again got hit a fair amount. Like you guys mentioned, he threw the picks, and they need Rodgers to be quite good. And because I think we now have 2 games of evidence that they're not going to have a top, let's just call it 5 defense in the NFL this year.
Yes.
I think that, and again, you're right. They give 24 points. You know what I mean? The 7 on the kickoff is not on the defense at all. It's not on anyone on the team except for the kid who forgot it was a live ball. But still, the defense has not been impactful in either of these 2 games. And in my opinion, they've played 2 offenses that are likely to be not in the top 15. Like the Jets' offense is not going to be very good. I think the Seahawks are going to be a defensive-minded team. You know what I mean? So, no, I do not buy that this is good for the Pittsburgh Steelers at all.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's good. I thought Rodgers, too, I thought he kind of threw Calvin Austin under the bus. Did you see that?
Young kid?
I mean, look, I don't know what but it looks like Calvin Austin was in the way. I'm just saying, do you have to bring that up? You know what I mean?
I'm
publicly.
so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because it takes it wasn't my fault. It was his fault. But you're saying it in a way like he's such a great kid.
I think it is his fault.
But do you have to say it publicly?
So I went through and I read Aaron's comments. I'm like, oh, these are actually really good comments. He was talking about how they can do better on early downs, and it could be him. It could be, one guy in the old line. It could be, and I'm like, oh, okay, these are all very reasonable. And then he started talking about, hey, that Calvin, he's a great kid. Let me tell you how great he is. But it was also his fault and not my fault. So I agree with you. I really was hoping that he was going to go through a whole comment range without throwing anybody under the bus. But the problem they have, Rodgers under pressure was 3 for 11 for 36 yards, 1 pick, a 2.8 passer rating with 3 sacks. So when that happens, it's like sharks to blood in the NFL. So if you have a problem with something, everybody goes after it until you prove that you can fix it. And so now when you're starting to throw these numbers out, he's been sacked 7 times in 2 games, which is the 4th most. So that problem is going to continue to be given to him until he shows he can make you pay for it.
Guess who leads the league in sacks?
Tell me.
Patriots.
Is that who they play next?
Yes. The Steelers in Foxborough. So it'll be interesting if they can solve that, but the Patriots been getting after it.
Listen, if I'm the Steelers, I have seen concerning signs, things that would worry me about Rodgers' ability to make it through the season in both games.
Oh, that's
even the game where they scored a bunch of points and Rodgers was throwing the ball great. He is just getting hit a ton. He is.
It's an O-line thing or a Rodgers mobility thing?
I think it's both. You know what I mean? I don't think they have a great O-line. I also think that Aaron.
Probably Calvin's fault.
I mean, I think it's a combination of all those. And I think that there's also a slight element of Aaron not fully realizing or accepting that he's not as escapable as he once was. You know what I mean? It's all of those things. And the Calvin Austin thing, the only part about that I really didn't like was what's the threshold for NFL, how long you've been in the league or how old you are, to where being called a kid repeatedly is insulting? Because when I looked it up during the comment, I was like, man, I thought Calvin Austin was a veteran player, and he's 26. So that was the other
but compared to
I understand. So maybe that's what it is.
A kid.
But
I just don't think you need to bring that Like,
No.
just take it yourself.
Just be like-
I mean,
threw a bad
Patrick, when he was
ball.
asked about the
Better.
Kelsey interception, just was like,
Right,
I threw a
he
bad
ate it,
ball.
which was
I needed to have
totally
the
not
ball
the case. Yeah.
lower and
In a
closer.
meeting,
Exactly.
Brew was calling me a kid the other day.
Well, that makes sense.
A great kid
he
or
did.
just a kid?
He's like, oh, Wild's a good kid. He hosts the show. I was like, wow, thanks, bro.
You're a great kid.
Veteran leadership.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.